And we are off. Let's go. See what we got here. Papaneat, finding a purple chest. And it will have Earth Spell inside of it. A good start so far. There's also a tier 1 cracked wall. It could be the potential to be a Shriner. But nope, it's a CoNDOR. Not really want that right now, but Chef Mayhem using Earth Spell to crack open a crate. And we'll be rewarded with a whole heart container for that. Blood Shop on papaneat's side. And it will have an interesting selection of items. Not the weapon you want, but papaneat's spending quite a bit of time deciding what to do, and we have a value bomb on Chef Mayhem's side. Taking a hit from a monkey earlier, but that is a value bomb, killing the Minotaur and opening up the Blood Shop as well. Both of these racers will go down to 1 heart, just opting to buy the items for the cost of 2 hearts. Nice dodge on papaneat's end in order to evade the quickly moving incoming headless skeleton. Chef Mayhem as well. What is with these headless skeletons? Oh, Chef Mayhem is not in a good spot here, but this does set up a gold kill. Had everything under control the whole time. It just looked like they weren't having it, but he ends up with cookies as well, it seems. Papaneat, meanwhile, is gonna get grabbed by a monkey after some pretty nasty every beat enemies coming his way. And Chef Mayhem taking a hit on Deep Blues will drop the Flawless. Well, what is this 2-1? This 2-1, the exit is legitimately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps away from spawn. That is the shortest Zone 2 I have ever seen. That may be the shortest floor I have ever seen. But Chef Mayhem will take time, despite being a lightning fast floor. Yes, this is the shortest floor I have ever seen. That's pretty incredible. Going to get attacked by the Minotaur immediately on Chef Mayhem's side. Revealing how close the exit is. And Chef Mayhem picking up an empty heart container. A decent weapon in the form of the glass rapier, but definitely not something that you want to keep without any damage ups. And Chef Mayhem rolling that Dire Bat. It's not have Ring of Luck or Luck Charm. That was just a straight up Dire Bat roll. But it will work out for him. Another great gold kill coming out of Chef Mayhem. Allowing them to deal absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage, and we got the damage up that we want. It is Rapier War. Papaneat. Looks like they killed the Blood Shop, and they did pick up the bow for now, but we'll swap off to the gold spear. Meanwhile, Chef Mayhem checking plaque for a glass weapon, but definitely keeping this War Rapier alive here. Having the War Rapier combo, even if it's just their base Rapier and no other damage ups, is pretty effective, given the combo is so strong and just one more damage up will make it all that much better. Chef Mayhem deciding what to do here. Looks like they will pass up on the Great Shrines. Definitely kind of a risk to try to bomb that Shriner there. So, given that they do not need to force any leads or anything, they actually will decide to do it. They do have Earth Spell, but this is getting a bit scary here. Swapping off to Ring of Regeneration, that's a bit of a downgrade even. Except you probably down the line it will pay off. It will definitely pay off. Probably. Definitely probably. So, a bit of a downgrade at the moment, but finding a better weapon is going to be pretty likely. Interesting choice though. Already had an excellent ring with the current weapon, but Ring of Regen is just that good. It's perfectly fair to want to swap off to Regen when you have the chance to get it. So that easily could have gone a bit more off for Chef Mayhem here. Luckily had Earth, definitely was prepared, mentally prepared, keep in check. What do I have here in order to make this as safe as possible? And then utilizing his tools to the greatest extent. Actually, they could have been better. They could have saved off more damage than that, but you can't really complain about surviving. Papaneat finding the glass sphere that Chef found on the way down to Zone 3, but we'll leave it behind. War Spear is decent. Definitely not what Chef's War Rapier was. Chef's in a bit of a spot. Slow damage is definitely an issue. Costing a lot of time too. Papaneat able to catch up, although being a bit on the cautious side, definitely. Being on low health. But even so, Chef Mayhem continues forward. Down to Fortissimo. And more glass weapons on Chef Mayhem's side, definitely not what he's looking for. Looking for a more serviceable weapon than this. This Papaneat does have the damage up, which could come into play down the line, but this lead is a pretty comfortable lead. Not the most comfortable, but you would be happy with this much of a lead. But as I say that, the lead seems to be diminishing as Papaneat's spending way less time in Zone 3. And still getting a decent build out of it. Checking the right shots instead of checking everything. Bit of a swarm for Papaneat, but the push will be good. Solid push-in, you try to come back. After a pretty early death. And that is a titanium rapier for Chef Mayhem. Could be worth hitting the boss shrine to bring them up to the 3 damage threshold. But this build is looking fine enough as is. Additional items to round out Chef Mayhem's build even more. A map and a source of regeneration in the form of Shop Bro. We're seeing Chef forget to destroy the sarcophagus, but a fireball will handle that very well. Chef pushing out forward into a dangerous spot, does have Earth and a Squaga suit, tanking a lot of hits. With the Squaga suit barely taking any damage, but we'll get telemonkeyed straight back to the beginning. Great fireball to take out 3 enemies there on Chef Mayhem's end. papaneat is still trying to push back, even though he hasn't found the titanium rapier, which is pretty important given that they do have ore. Definitely something that can help mount a comeback. Earth Zuma coming out for Chef Mayhem here. And looks like papaneat will miss out on the titanium rapier. So, in terms of safety, Chef Mayhem definitely has a build. Decently speedy too. 13 bombs to boot. papaneat continuing on to King Konga 4, but Chef Mayhem is using that map to go forward, finding out exactly where the exit is and making a beeline towards the exit room, going down to Dead Ringer, which will be a right side spawn. And Chef Mayhem opting for easy left side scoots. Will be a flawless, does not need to check any chests. On to the Necrodancer fight with the whole 13 bombs in tow. Using the blood shovel to get an early hit off has a ton of disposable health to work with, so half a part to get an early hit off the Necrodancer would definitely be worth it for Chef Mayhem right now. papaneat being left behind in 5-1. Not quite the speed. Could have been Ogre. Some weird visual stuff happening with that Ogre on Chef Mayhem's side, but nonetheless, Chef Mayhem taking the first race with the 13:46 race time. GG. Definitely very slow play. papaneat finding a few extra items left and right. Could have pulled the tide in his direction instead, but ultimately not finding anything. Chef Mayhem's building managed to let them tank up a pretty significant amount. And finding the titanium rapiers is just a pretty big thing. So the first loot will go to Chef Mayhem. Good luck, have fun to both racers as we go on to the next race. Chef Mayhem definitely knowing how to slow play, I think. Solid slow play. We don't mind seeing slow play when you have the lead. Looks like we have an immediate blood shop. I say throw! Do a throw, it's right there, won't cost you much time to try again. It won't work out for papaneat, getting bad luck here. But can just try again very quickly. Chef Mayhem getting similarly bad luck. But on papaneat's end, it works out. Needs to finish off this blood shopkeeper kill, but will take a hit. Still has more attempts very quickly. Chef Mayhem, meanwhile, successfully finishing it off. Having a dagger in tow. papaneat spending half a heart in order to not get hit by the shopkeeper, which is worth, because getting hit by the shopkeeper, that will kill you, instead of costing just half a heart. Yeah, some interesting items on both racers' ends. Not the best, but far from the worst. We definitely take these items when we see them. Chef Mayhem, didn't need to use the blood drum there, so had the gold kill lined up, just didn't hit the crate, and that is an excellent item for Chef Mayhem to acquire early on. Just a great set of stuff coming out on Chef Mayhem's end. papaneat having none of these items that Chef has. Besides the ones in the blood shop, of course, but Chef Mayhem finding the Crown of Thorns, the Titanium Shovel, the Ballet Shoes, and the Ring of Strength. All decently notable items to round out a build with. And not only that, Chef Mayhem will be the first one down to Fortissimo 1. Will be very quick flawless with the Ring of Might. Checking black for Glass Cat. Chef Mayhem not taking any glass items this run. They already have damage up, so it's perfectly fine. Leave that behind for now. papaneat trying to farm up a bit to have a fighting chance against Chef Mayhem, but only finding a helmet, which is helpful in terms of armor, but all of the goodies that Chef has, papaneat does not. We have Move Dig on papaneat's end, but perfectly fine to leave that behind if you are if you're gonna play more confidently with the helmet instead. We have mapping on Chef Mayhem's side. Continue to round out his build. There isn't much on papaneat's end. Those crates, that bit of extra farming for Chef Mayhem, just finding the right places to farm. Has an urn as well on Chef Mayhem's side. We'll just crack it open for an Hello? Okay. My computer crashed, but we should be back right now. Let's get the music running again. And let's see what we missed out on. Looks like papaneat has opened up the urn as well, and also picked up spiked ears from somewhere, but still does not have any response to Chef Mayhem's build, and will go down. Probably more time than that, given that there was a blood shop reset. Let's see. Let's just make this 7:45. There you go. It is awfully hot today, and my computer was definitely having issues last time. Or like 2 or 3 days ago when I was commentating because of the heat. So hopefully I don't have continued issues with this, especially while racing. But anywho, Chef Mayhem out here, having more than enough space to slow play, going down to 4-3. And finding cookies as well. Like Chef is trying to find a way to break the statue open. There will be a worse form of armor for Chef Mayhem. Continue down. Deep blues. 4. Chef needs to be careful not to get knighted here. Does have the parries, which can come into play when fighting deep blues. Pretty often, actually. Lots of chances to hit a parry. Chef Mayhem finding Ring of Courage. Will opt to keep the damage up. Reasonable play. Given courage can be scary if you aren't comfortable with it, and right now, slow play procedures have been activated. So, in comfort and safety are the names of the game. On the run back, papaneat going down once more. Pretty fast into zone 2, but won't be enough. Chef Mayhem continues down to 5-3. Not too much more that he needs to do to finish this off. Dead Ringer will have a right side spawn, allowing Chef Mayhem to pick up a left side scoots. There is a rider in the way. We are off the rails. Chef Mayhem having Blood Shield and Heal Spell. Can just opt to Blood Shield, but will get a flawless 100% consistent. Managing to re-rail that fight extremely well. And their Obsidian Cutlass will go 3 to 5 damage here. Dorian taking a half a heart here. Not the end of the world yet. Definitely want to keep Dorian's health up. Has all the time in the world to finish this Necrodancer fight, unless they pull a silly pairs and actually do take all the time in the world. Kappa. Bit of a dangerous Red Dragon on Chef Mayhem's side. Has shield to help mitigate, though. Mitigate damage, has ham, has heal spell. It's very comfortable as we finish here with a race from time of 12:28. GG's. Chef Mayhem ultimately just finding better items. Papaneat wanting new builds to try to stem their disadvantage from not having those items, but not being able to find much out of it, allowing Chef Mayhem to just run away with it. That is perfectly fair, Chef Mayhem. But we got one more on the block here. And we are ready to begin. So let us go. Third seed. Seeing if Papaneat can take a point off the set. It's unfortunate not finding the items that he needs. Passing it on by. Immediate trap room on 1-1, and another one with trap doors, but there is a tier 2 cracked wall. And Papaneat will opt to check for this. And it is a glass shop. Likely not the shop that he wants, but will be able to snag the glass shovel out of it with the wall gold that he picked up. Both Razors picking up a torch. Glass shop. Tier 2 check for Papaneat. Doesn't have bombs. This is a blood shop with a super secret shop behind it. So it would be best to try to bomb for it. Hello, Electrodancer. But Chef Mayhem, not finding any bombs, will just continue on. However, there is a heal spell. Still wants more bombs for this Ring of War. Wouldn't be bad. Actually, already has Ring of Peace. So, likely wouldn't need to bomb for it anyways. We have a death on Papaneat's end. In attempt to kill the shopkeeper. You would definitely want bombs here, given even if you threw, chances are, if you don't die, you still wouldn't be able to finish off the kill. Actually did have a glass shovel, so could sacrifice that glass shovel in order to open up a window to the super secret shop. That would not be a bad play. And Chef Mayhem continuing on down to Coral Rift. Does not have any bombs. Not having bombs early on seems to be a pretty big problem for this zone 1. But Papaneat having the foresight that he needs to conserve this bomb and use a Minotaur to crack open the blood shop. Will now pull off a pretty straightforward kill, and the super secret shop is kind of pathetic, but definitely still helpful. Papaneat once again taking the gold bow. Very safe. And we have a glass rapier for Chef Mayhem's side. He's going to opt to take that, needing any form of damage up. But definitely not the worst in the super secret shop, but you would definitely usually hope for better. We take those though. Papaneat definitely playing slowly here. Does not want to get destroyed by bow snag. Especially given that the bow is on low damage. Can easily put you in some compromising situations if you aren't diligent with clearing out enemies. And Papaneat getting grabbed by Monkey! Had heal spell to try to utilize iframes to massively reduce damage there, but will eat 2 entire Green Dragon hits there. Food shop open and a potion room open. That is a value bomb. Getting all sorts of health here. What kind of health do you want? Another super secret shop on Chef Mayhem's side. We have had 2 super secret shops in this seed. And there's a 1 gold holster. Chef Mayhem will just pick that up. This is pretty blessed. The super secret shops have been horrible though, but what they make up for in lack of quality, they make up for in quantity, I suppose. And a free pulse scroll, pulse spell pickup for Chef Mayhem. So this quartz is looking pretty good with the Ring of Peace along with the heal spell. And Papaneat now finding the food shop as well. We'll find a 1 gold holster. Will not take the time to pick it up. Very much could be worth it to have a glass rapier in your pocket. Very extremely fast, just falling back on your safety weapon, which you will find later on, hopefully. Chef Mayhem finding it in the form of a obsidian longsword. Could be a bit dangerous, as that obsidian longsword will go down to 1 damage after taking a hit. So it won't be reliable right away, but still a pretty solid weapon that's relatively safe. And especially after losing the glass rapier, not a bad weapon to keep using. Small gluttony for Chef Mayhem. Playing a bit safer than he needs to, I think. Wanting to keep this glass rapier alive. But if you're worried about keeping glass alive and it costs that much time to keep glass alive, it's fine to just ditch the glass if you got a holster. Especially with all the regeneration and armor that Chef Mayhem has at the moment. Just taking a hit there. Perfectly reasonable. No longer having the glass weapon. Swapping off to longsword, making sure to do that before going into the fight. Pretty straightforward, flawless for Chef Mayhem. Checking black once more. Might as well pick up that broadsword. Having 2 obsidian weapons, not really helpful at all. But, might as well pick it up, I suppose. Actually, like, why would you even pick that up? I mean, I'm thinking of places where you would use the obsidian broadsword instead of the longsword, but if you want wide hits. If you pick up courage and you want to use a pseudo axe, I guess, Cap. Thick sword! And a crate room for Chef Mayhem, finding an absolute buffet of bombs. Once again, going up to 12. Actually, last time was 13, so not quite up to the previous seed yet, but it's getting close. An interesting combination of hazards there in Zone 4 for Chef Mayhem. We'll take a Law Pig hit with a whole bunch of other complicated things that interact in weird ways. Oh right, Chef Mayhem has the Blast Home as well. This is looking really far up for Chef Mayhem to take this. Can't just Blast Home here. Does not need to worry about Blade Masters too much. 12 bombs and a Blast Home. That is way that is a bit late. Just using the Blast Helms, definitely better than not using them, but remembering them a bit earlier would have been much better. Nonetheless, could just decide to Blast Helm every single Blade Master from here on out, which wouldn't be a bad choice at all. But still, good Blast Helm usage. That was a pretty scary spot. Definitely a bit of panic setting in, a bit of shakiness. Just slam that Blast Helm button repeated times. And Chef Mayhem continuing down. About a zone lead here. papaneat has to get through the entirety of Zone 4 in order to catch up. Which, at the pace these two are playing, that likely isn't gonna happen. Also doesn't have the damage up. Flail can get awkward in Zone 4 as well, so does not really have a response to what Chef Mayhem is putting out in this seed. Continuing on to 5-3. Widening this gap even more. papaneat not having a response. Still stuck on 1 damage. Can't open these crates. Actually can with the blood drum, and they will to pick up a lot of bombs as well. We have some right side spawns on the seed. Chef Mayhem will do fast left side scoots, which will go extremely well with Blast Home, going into the Necrodancer with 7 whole bombs. Still can continue to use them after bombing out the stage as a moment of safety. Does not need to care about Necro Bombs besides Dorian. Taking a few hits here and there, but keeping Dorian untouched. Definitely what he needs to do right now, given how safe Cadence is. And on to the last hit, we have it. We got a race from time of 11:47, and that will be a 3-0 sweep for Chef Mayhem over papaneat.